Are you a novice? Maybe you're not a novice, but you need to brush up on some skills to improve your riding techniques. Well, you're in luck, because today I'm going to bring you some expert riding techniques to make you an expert motorcyclist. What's up, guys? I'm Code Gray. Welcome to the channel. Now, the roads are a bit wet from last night's rain, but that's okay, because the techniques that I'll be teaching you today works in any weather. Now, this first technique that I'll be teaching you is called the every time. Why? Because it works every time. Now, this technique is going to teach you how to make the perfect launch. Because let's face it, guys, there's nothing more embarrassing than when you're getting ready to leave from a stoplight or a stop sign. There's nothing more embarrassing than stalling your bike out, right? I mean, the last thing you want is everybody looking at you like you're some kind of idiot that doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle. And stalling your bike out, well, that sure doesn't instill confidence in your fellow motorists. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this technique requires a lot of focus. So for me to explain it to you properly, I'm going to have to find a place to pull over and show you how to do it properly, because trying to talk and do it properly at the same time, well, that can mess things up. So I'll find a good spot to pull over and teach you how to pull off this technique, the every time, very shortly. All right, now we found a nice place to pull over. Let's get started on the technique. Now, this technique is a 4-part maneuver. Part 1, fully depress your clutch lever. Step 2, make sure you're in first gear. Step 3, reach forward, grab your throttle, and twist it all the way back. Step 4, quickly pop the clutch lever. Now, with this technique, you are guaranteed a perfect launch every time. I promise you will not stall. You will definitely go. That is why it's called the every time. Now, I wish I could have demonstrated that technique to you guys in real time, but that technique requires a lot of focus. Can't talk and perform it at the same time. Expert level technique to make you an expert rider. Well, now that we've learned how to go like an expert, next we need to learn how to stop like an expert. And our next technique is called the wiggle stop. Now, before I teach you the wiggle stop technique, I want you to remember this phrase: defeat is for the weak. But we're going to change that up a little bit today. We're not going to say defeat, we're going to say the feet. Now, what am I implying by this? I'm implying that if you use your feet when you come to a stop, you have a weak technique. We're not here to learn weak techniques. We're here to learn expert techniques. Now, before we perform the wiggle stop technique, you need to remember a couple of things. 1, people think that motorcycles can just tip over or fall over at random, at any old thing. That's a myth. All motorcycles are highly tuned, high-performance machines that are naturally balanced. And the second thing is, people assume that you have to put your feet down when you come to a stop. Well, that's just another myth. That's just something your parents taught you when you were a baby. It's not necessary. All right, now that we've debunked those silly myths, let's move on to learning the wiggle stop technique. Now, this technique is one of the easiest ones to learn by far. But make no mistake, just because it's easy, you will still feel like an expert. All right, when we get up to this stop, I'm going to teach you the wiggle stop technique. Now, this one's very easy. It's only 2 steps. And I'm about to show you how to do it. All right, coming up to the stop sign. Now, step 1, do not put your feet down. It's unnecessary. Step 2, wiggle your bars. See how I'm wiggling my bars like this? And I haven't tipped over? Now that's all there is to the wiggle stop technique. A motorcycle is 95% naturally balanced, and when you come to a stop, there's no need to put your feet down, because when you wiggle the bars like that, that takes care of that remaining 5% of the unbalanced machine. And there you go, the wiggle stop technique. And now you know how to stop like an expert. Now our next technique is to teach you how to corner like an expert. Now the name of this technique is called the Brazilian butt lift, not to be confused with the plastic surgery. Now before we learn this technique, I need you guys to understand that counter steering is for novice riders. And what do we say? We're not here to learn novice techniques, we're here to learn expert techniques. Now this maneuver is also a 3-part maneuver. Now this is going to depend on whether you're cornering to the left or cornering to the right, depending how you want to perform this maneuver. Now let's say, for instance, you want to corner to the right. We have a corner to the right coming up here. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our right butt cheek and put it off the side of the seat. Step number 2, we are going to lift on our handlebar. We will lift on our left part of the handlebar, which will make the bike corner. Now, vice versa, if you're turning left, you'll put your left butt cheek off of your seat and you will lift up on the right handlebar, hence the Brazilian butt lift. Now I almost forgot one of the most important parts of the Brazilian butt lift technique, and that is using your turn signals. If you're turning to the right, you turn your right turn signal on. If you're turning to the left, you turn your left turn signal on. Now you will not be making a left or right hand turn. You will be following through the corner. So what's the purpose of the turn signals? Well, they draw attention to you, and you want to show your fellow motorists what an expert maneuver you just pulled off. And that is the 3-step maneuver to the Brazilian butt lift. Now make sure you guys remember to practice these maneuvers that you learned today, because with these 3 techniques, not only will your skills improve, you will learn to ride like an expert. For more tips like these, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm Code Gray. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh man, I hope no one took that seriously.